So my name is Todd Myers. I'm the Environmental Director at the Policy Center, and trying to be the voice of reason on the environment living in Washington State requires two things. One, alcohol. Two, support. I appreciate your support, because without you and without people constantly telling us, yes, you're doing the right thing, keep fighting, we simply wouldn't have a chance against all of the environmental groups that are lined up against us. And we can make a difference. And if you think we can't make a difference and that anything can happen, the Mariners are winning tonight. With that inspiration, I keep going. So it was just Earth Day, and so if you're a left-wing environmentalist, the way you celebrate Earth Day is that you go into the city and you march on asphalt surrounded by concrete buildings and talk about the environment. If you actually care about the environment, you do what I did with my wife, and actually Maria and her husband did. We went up to Skagit Valley and saw the tulips. Right? We actually went out to nature and appreciated what agriculture does and what natural resources do, and got away from the city. That's the ethic that we need to embrace as free market, conservative environmentalists, because the fight about the environment is not about who cares. Because look at a map, and look at where the environmentalists live, and look at where people who believe in the free market live. Who lives surrounded by nature every day, and who surrounds themselves with concrete? Clearly there is one group who cares about the environment so much they surround themselves with it every day. The fight about the environment, though, is what do we do? The left says that you need to change your lifestyle, and we will force you to change your lifestyle to save the environment. Conservatives and people who believe in the free market have a very different approach, which is we believe that you should live your lifestyle, and we will promote technology that allows you to do more with less, which is fundamentally what it means to be an environmentalist. That is the approach that we take, and there are lots of things that we can do. And we just recently put out a video about what I call smartphone environmentalism. In the 1970s, it was really easy to see why we needed to do something about the environment. We had outfalls pouring things into the streams and rivers. We had big smokestacks that were putting air pollution. So we created the EPA because we could identify the sources of the problem. 50 years later, it's very different, though, but the EPA and the environmental left think it's all the same, and their answers are the same. Just make it bigger, do more top-down, one-size-fits-all solutions. But now we have smartphones, and we have the ability to focus on the problems and change the way that we impact the environment in a way that suits our lifestyle. So you may have heard that honeybees are dying. It used to be about 20 years ago that 20% of honeybees would die over the winter in hives. Now it's about 40%. What you may not know, though, is actually that the total number of honeybee hives in the United States is going up, not down. And the reason is that beekeepers, like me, recognize that if I don't replace my bees, I get no honey. I have an incentive to replace those hives. And I have the knowledge, because I see my bees every day to try to save them and to do the things that I can so that I have honeybees next year. It is the people with the knowledge and the incentives who are going to do the most for the environment, not top-down approaches that are one-size-fits-all. And that's why, even though we do have a problem with honeybees, the population is going up, not down, because beekeepers everywhere recognize that they need to solve the problem and adjust, and they have. We can do the same thing with energy. So I put in, if you watch the video, if you go to WashingtonPolicy.org and watch the video I did, you'll see a little orange box that I put into my electrical panel. And what that does is it senses the electricity that I use. And it has an algorithm that can figure out what appliances I'm using based on the particular electric signal of that appliance, whether it's a microwave or a dryer or the heater. And it'll show me in real time right now that my house is using 1,100 watts right now. Now, this freaks out my wife because I can tell when she's using the microwave. But the amazing thing about this is that I don't want to spend $1 more on electricity than I have to. I would rather save that money, go to the movies, and buy popcorn. And simply by giving me information that's available on my smartphone, I can find ways to save electricity. Whether you believe in climate change or not, we all believe that we should save money. And this is a better tool to do that than all of the ideas that we can get from Washington, D.C., because it fits my house, my lifestyle, and the opportunities that I have to save money. That's smartphone environmentalism. We have to put 1970s environmentalism behind us and use the tools that we have today. It's not a debate about whether we care about the environment or not. We all do. Look outside. There's a reason that we're here on Lake Union, because we love the water, we love the environment. The question is, how do we get there? And the environmental left's approach of trying to force us to live the way they want fails. Because in America, we believe that we have the freedom to live the way we want. But we do want to do more with less, and smartphone environmentalism allows us to do that. Those are the approaches that we talk about. And I can tell you that even people on the left are tired of the failure of the left-wing environment.